Welcome into TWMP Daily. Aaron, thank you so much for making the time.
Yeah, always.
As always, we are joined by a good buddy of mine. All right, now you say this name. I say it, but I say it fast. Representative Dean Van Schoiack.
Schoiack.
See, I knew I was going to mess it up. When I see you, I say it real fast so I don't mess it up. But now say it one more time for everybody watching at home.
Van Schoiack.
Schoiack. All right, because I guarantee you, there's people watching this show that you know that they would never say it wrong intentionally, but
No,
Van
that's
Schoiack.
true. Yeah,
I bet you they are nervous when they go about. So that's the first question I was going to ask you, because I guarantee you, when I introduce you to people, I say it fast because I don't want to say it wrong.
Yep.
And I feel like like Vaughn. I get called Vaughn with a V all the time. And I just let it go because how could you keep it tight?
John Patterson is watching intently so that he doesn't screw it up.
Yeah,
next time.
that's right. He's like, Schoiack. I knew it was Schoiack, but I wasn't sure.
The big question is that German or is that Dutch?
Dutch, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I had a news person ask me one time if it was Polish.
Yeah,
I said, no, if it's Polish, it'd be Van Schoiack.
that's right.
And she said, you got to introduce yourself now because I've got that in my head and I can't get it
Van
out.
Schoiack. You may get called that now. There's another Dutchman in Missouri politics, and I can't believe that we don't have.
Well, yeah, Ryan de Boef is Dutch. I'm pretty sure.
Ryan de Boef is Dutch.
De Boef is Dutch. I
thought that was French.
No, it's
Dutch.
It means thief. De Boef means thief, and yeah.
Really? And like in the Indian culture, like you get named what you're going to be. It's like a caste system. So like I didn't know this for a long time, and this may be very wrong. I'm just going to say Barclays told me. Like Patel means innkeeper in Indian. And so there's a lot of Patels in St. Louis and out of Cape Girardeau area.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought they were all related because their last name Patel. I mean, if there's a Van Schoiack,
I'm related to him somehow.
yeah. I'm figure y'all are kin.
Shrimp
But
and-
it's not really true in Indian culture. If you come here and your last name is Patel, it means at some point your family was innkeepers. Now, oddly enough, most of the Patels I know of are in the hotel business.
They must have a
in
lot of
between St.
hotels
Louis and Cape Girardeau. But yeah. So Chris Koster, kind of the top level Dutchman I know of in Missouri politics.
Really?
We don't. I have had Koster bumpers. People steal those. Because that was always the one the state got so wrong. I mean, it's one thing to.
It really is.
It's one thing to elect someone and it be like, yeah, the other guy might have done better. But you know for damn sure in 2016, the state was like, we need a mulligan on that one. Luckily, the state did get a mulligan and got Governor Parson. Yep. So anyhow, you are running for, now tell folks where exactly you're from in the Great Northwest.
I'm from the Great Northwest, from Savannah, Missouri. I represent the 9th District, which are the counties of Andrew, DeKalb, and Northern Clinton County.
DeKalb County, Maysville,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
Nice. They had a girls basketball last year was good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legit good. You're up by buddy Kyle White's territory, huh?
Yes, he's one of my commissioners.
Man, isn't he just a great guy?
He is.
I mean, if you really want to know something about Northwest Missouri, and you want a guy that'll give you a straight shot, that Kyle White's one of the finest people I know. Mm-hmm. And Missy, of course, you don't have to say her. I mean, the dean of county clerks, she knows everything about county clerking. If you want, actually, folks, I'm going to tell you, Denny Hoskins should be nervous about this. If you want to, I don't know what she thinks of Denny, by the way, but if you want a good rundown of Secretary of States and their job performance, Missy.
Yeah.
All
that would
day
be
long.
an interesting.
No doubt.
Yeah.
It would be super interesting.
That would be a great interview.
Yes. I'll tell you one thing Denny's doing that I like. He's answering questions. Because so many county clerks, even people don't know, in a third-class county, the county clerk runs everything. Third and fourth class, the county clerk is over every single thing. The commissioners come in once, twice a week, and they make the big decisions. Right. But day to day, the clerk runs everything.
Right.
And no clerk I know of wants to do something illegal, right?
That's correct.
They just want to. They don't care.
They're there to do their job and do it right. Yes.
But election law is complicated, damn complicated, and I find it, it kind of grinds my gears. You get a Secretary of State elected and won't answer questions of people. Honestly, one thing I'll give the Ethics Commission credit for, and I don't, everybody kind of can give Liz and them grief, but the fact is, if you want to do it right and you call the Ethics Commission,
they will give you a good. They will
give you
answer
an answer, and if you take their answer and you try the best of your ability to do it. I really credit the Ethics Commission for that. I think if you call up and say, I don't know how to fill this form out. The guy running for school board, right? He doesn't. He wants to help the football team and get the math class going right.
Right.
I think if you call up there, they do it. And the one thing the Secretary of State does, and it depends on the Secretary of State, and Denny is doing some of this, you have I guess the budget isn't what it was, but he's got a lot of smart folks on staff. Or they're paid, they could be smart, right?
Right.
Give a clerk an answer, right?
Yes.
And if the clerk is trying their best to follow the law, man, have some grace for people trying to do their best, right?
Right.
And I like that about Denny. I think that is you owe that to folks. If folks are trying to do things right, help them. Now, if somebody's in there being squirrely, fine. But for the most part, the county clerks don't care which person wins a water board race.
Right.
They just want to do their job and go home, right?
Exactly.
And
right.
so I like that about Denny. And Missy would. She's really the person that I would ask.
Yeah.
Okay, rank me all the Secretary of States you've worked with. I'll bet that list would be interesting.
It would be a long list. Yeah.
I don't wonder how Candor would do. I don't think very well. Not because he's a Democrat either. I just don't. Candor didn't want to answer those questions because look, the truth is when you answer a question about something like this stuff gets highly litigated, and when it gets litigated, it gets really litigated. You don't want to get in the way, but I mean that's kind of the government, right? You're saying, "Put me in, coach. I'll step up. I'll take the ball in the fourth quarter, and what have you."
Right.
Okay, so you're right now. What are you doing in the House?
I'm
second term, right?
I'm the third term.
Third term. You got one more
running
term
for my
left.
fourth term, right?
And you're running for Speaker Pro Tem of the House.
I'm running for Speaker Pro Tem, absolutely.
It is a cool job.
It
Great
is.
office.
It is.
But to me, the Pro Tem in the House is sort of this lump of clay that you can do with what you want. And if that's very little, if that's a lot, obviously you run the floor. You have first claim to the chair when the speaker's, not in the chair.
Right.
But other than that, you can do a lot with that job.
Right.
What do you want to do with it?
I want to continue our point of order team that we developed under Plocker's speakership. I want to help people with their bills as well. Get them the best quality bills to the Senate that we can. Help people be successful in the House, and just be fair and rule. On points of order, the Speaker and the Pro Tem are the two people who can rule on point of order. The only two who can rule on it. So you've got to be fair and reasonable, and I want to do that. I just look forward to serving the House and keeping the decorum where it needs to be.
That's it feels like that's getting tougher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but you got to have some understanding. I mean, if you're a Democrat and you go get elected, just like you had to go. You had to go work hard, win your race. You come to Jeff City, and every day you get beat. Every day. The whole rules, everything's set up for you to get beat. I understand why it's hard sometimes to keep decorum.
Sure.
Like there was some freshmen that were kind of making a point on the floor all weekend, one weekend. Now, that's not really my taste for stuff.
No.
But I also, on some level, kind of feel bad because you come up here, you come to Jeff City, you want to make it, you come to this beautiful Capitol, and then in the House, it's like, yeah, maybe once a session we'll give a damn, right? People just don't care. And I think there'd be some frustration with that. And I almost have some time for folks trying to get some attention when you go through the whole session and nobody cares. I mean, I think that tension rises.
Yeah.
Now, the logical part would be Democrats should try to win elections instead of trying to win Twitter, but they kind of don't. So,
Right.
They love the independent loves them, but the rest of the states obviously not there.
Right.
But I do think it'd be hard. Don't you? Do you have on some level? You come up here as a member of a supermajority. You're going to serve your whole time as a supermajority member.
Right.
You look across the aisle. It got to be a little frustrating, right? Because they're driving down. Maybe they don't drive as far, but they're coming down here too, right? They're taking a chunk of their life dedicated to this. I have some sympathy for that.
The one thing I see that the Democrats do, they keep us sharp. They make us be sharp when we present bills. Just as iron sharpens iron, man sharpens man. The questions that they present to us on the floor, inquiries they do, make us be sharp and make us do a good job on our bills.
I agree. I think that's right.
I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And so they do serve a really good function there.
The opposition, right? Like in Britain.
It's the minority party's job.
You're loyal to the Queen by opposing her government. That's that's your job.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite people to watch on the floor in those inquiries is Jim Murphy. I always think he does such a great job, and he has a really good rapport with the minority party.
Yeah.
And I always feel like those line of inquiries are always, like you said, they're substantive, and they always are good,
Yes, they are.
Okay, Aaron, in your life, give me the top 3 people you would watch a reality show of. I'm going to go Tilly.
Wait, hold
is my
on.
first one.
As past or current sitting members of
As anybody you know in your life, period.
Anyone I
that
know
you would
in
watch
my
reality
life?
show. My number one would be Tilly, I think.
Amy Blunt is number one.
Amy
for sure.
Blunt would be on my list also.
Amy Blunt is.
And then I got to say Jim Murphy. I could just
I would
watch
watch
Jim
Jim
Murphy
Murphy.
do stuff and crack up
Yeah.
all the time. Because he's always funny, and
Yeah.
Jim generally keeps a good disposition. If you've ticked Jim off, it's probably you.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
And I could watch Jim Murphy go through life almost like Curb Your Enthusiasm for like a jolly Irishman.
He is.
Yeah.
That is a version of him.
And,
My
and he
favorite,
does get into problems, which are also funny to me.
I feel bad giving this away, but if you are in committee and Jim Murphy crosses his arms and lays back, you are about to get it.
Yeah, the day's about to get a little longer, I think. You know.
I just love.
I kind of do think you're right about that.
Yeah. I hate to give people that cue, but just watch out if that's what happens.
So I remember one time I did this show, and Mike Moon was on. He was early in the Senate, and there was a person that's very pro-choice on, and I happen to very much like her. And I was like, hey, and she knows I'm generally pro-life, right? So she's got her antenna up, and I'm like, listen, when you get on this show, don't be a jerk to Mike Moon.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to be a jerk to you back. You're going to ratchet up the rhetoric and get mad, because I know her, and he's just going to smile and be the most charming gentleman, and you're going to get frustrated and get meaner, and he's just going to get nicer. And before you know it, you're going to look terrible, and he's going to look like the most reasonable person in the world. And what he says is going to take off half the state. But the way he says it, half of those won't even be mad, because you'll look bad. And so we're doing it, and I'm trying, when I'm on the show, I try to facilitate a conversation, right? I'm trying to make her, I'm now openly trying to help her not look terrible. She will have none of it. She gets done. He had to run off. There was a quorum call in the Senate. She leaned over and she goes, I did it, didn't I? Go, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I tried to stop
Yeah.
you, and she goes, now that's on me. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
it technically is. But that is a way people can have that just makes it the spoonful of sugar that makes that medicine go down. And speaking of medicine, there ain't nothing more Missouri in this state. Nothing. It's the products of the Mocan Trade Association, grown, fertilized, planted in Missouri, harvested in Missouri, tested in Missouri, packaged in Missouri, drove in Missouri by Missourians to Missouri stores. I tell you, there ain't much in this state more Missouri than the products of the Mocan Trade Association. Plus, up in your neck of the woods, this is great. We get to say up in the great Northwest,
That's right.
United Fiber, some of the best rural broadband you ever see. One of the first times we
Absolutely.
got to visit actually was at the shed there at United Fiber in Savannah, and then a Courtyard by Marriott. If you care about your family, there's really only one place to put them up, and that's the Courtyard by Marriott. And I got to think, look at this. It's early. The Castiles got me this for my birthday. David, but Jordan brought it by, so I got to see Jordan, which was really what I was wanting for my birthday.
It's a great mug.
Aaron, it's about your people's time.
It is. It's getting close.
I mean,
Getting close. Spring break.
Once we get to the end of January, then February spring training starts, a little Valentine's Day. But really after that, it is it's Aaron people's time.
It's the greatest
right.
greatest drinking holiday that exists.
So you threw out Amy Blunt for your three.
Amy Blunt. I would watch a reality show of Senator Moon. That would entertain me.
I think it would
be
disappoint
like,
people
really?
how boring he is at home.
I feel like it would maybe. I feel like it would be like a version of Duck Dynasty, which we always enjoyed.
We're used to Senator Moon saying things like all the liberal media goes, oh my God, everybody and all the people here, because half of them are paid. They're I think back in Lawrence County, the stuff he says is just I agree, Mike, and that's the end of it. So I don't agree with your Mike Moon.
Amy Blunt. Back when Senator Jason Holtzman and Bill Igo were roommates, I would have watched that reality show.
that Holtzman would be good, actually.
Holtzman and Igo were roommates during their Senate tenure. I would have watched that reality
Well, what would be even better is like when they did the cutaway right to the camera, the interview about it, Bill would be funny. And Jason would take himself so seriously. Yeah. He would be funny when they're just filming the house. Bill's takeaways of Jason's behavior would be hilarious to me. Because I've got them before. I've got a group text where Bill would text us what Jason screwball thing Holtzman was doing that day. And it was the highlight. I'm not a big group texter, but when that one fired up, I'm finding it and reading the whole thing. So Speaker Pro Tem race.
Yes, sir.
It's got to be hard. I asked Alex Ryan this last week. You're running for Pro Tem. You got your own race going. Yep. You're a senior member of the caucus. Right. I asked Riley, it's like, okay, now you got Jeff running for floor leader, and you've got Brad running for floor leader. Now, they spend a chunk of their day studying your face and what you do and how you do things to see if you're really not backing them and you're backing the other guy. That's got to get tiresome. And he was like, well, you do have to think about it a lot, which wasn't he good on the show?
Yeah, Alex has a good poker face, I think.
He was good on the show,
I think he would play. I think he would do well in a game of poker.
I wasn't quite sure how he would do on the show. He was outstanding.
Yeah.
I thought he did very good. How do you deal with that? Because you're running for pro tem, you got your own thing going, you're a senior member, a lot of folks know you.
Right.
How do you handle, like, how you deal with that? With everybody like, who's he for?
Yeah, I just treat people the same. Treat everybody the same.
Gee, I wonder who that means he's for.
But asking folks for votes is fine. I love to do that. I'll take some folks to dinner and that sort of thing.
How do you run, when you're running for pro tem, like, what is your strategy to convince one of your colleagues to vote for you?
Well, first of all, do a great job on the dais.
You've got a very calm demeanor, and I think that when the world's moving fast, you want the guy that's running a cool engine to be in that room, right?
Right.
You do definitely kind of a demeanor where things could be going as fast as they're going, but you've got an ability, I think, to remain calm.
I do my best to do that. There have been a few times where we had some shout-outs from the left side of the aisle, and I stared them down and quieted things down and moved right on. And that's all it took, was just to stare over there for a little bit and like, you really don't want to be doing this. Well, and, you know.
It's funny, you know, my first year up here was the last year the Democrats had control.
Okay.
And they treated the Republicans like just dirt.
Right.
Awful. If these folks think they get treated bad. But in Jim Crider's defense, he had like a 4-seat majority.
Yeah.
You had to run it that way.
Yeah.
His own members he had to be tough on. I mean, it's funny how you can take history and you can view things in these little snippets, but if you really look, Jim Crider was far meaner than John Patterson and Alex Riley have ever been to the Democrat caucus, but he had to be.
I can go back further than that. I interned for Jim Russell in 1981 when I was a senior in college.
Wow.
And so I was 3 hours short for graduation because I took a Accounting 2 course, pass-fail, and failed it. And so I went to my advisor and said, if I can do an independent study as an intern with my state rep, can I write a paper for you and for my poli-sci instructor and get 3 hours credit for both? He says, fine with me if it's fine with your poli-sci instructor, and it was.
You only got 3 hours for your internship?
3 hours for each.
You got to negotiate that better.
Well, at least I got what I needed to graduate. That's what I
wanted.
Sure,
yeah.
Yeah. Of course, I was only here on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Accounting, too. See,
abstract accounting.
Yeah, I solved my accounting problem by never taking accounting. That would have been a disaster. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
But,
Jim Russell, what a great guy. I got this wonderful opportunity. Tony Benz now works for the association that Jim started and built up, and I got to speak at their summer conference, and it was the coolest, greatest honor to be able to speak there. And I actually bought a thing I bought those glasses and that tumbler thing that had his name inscribed on them, and I got to give them to Judge Russell.
Yeah.
What a cool guy. I did not personally know Jim Russell, but everybody I've ever met just raved about him.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy, and he taught me what the job was. You know, the biggest part of the job is helping your constituents when they have a problem. You know, getting bills passed is a great thing too, but helping your constituents and not caring what their politics are when they call you. It doesn't matter what their politics are. They've got a problem with the state, I help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jim did the same thing, and so that's what I learned from him a lot was that. But we were talking about how we're treated on the floor. So that was the year that Kit Bond went back into the governorship. Bob Griffin took over as Speaker of the House, and Republicans were treated very poorly then. Of course, now Jim was a Democrat. I was a Democrat at that time. I was raised a Democrat.
Your part of the state did pretty well under Speaker Griffin.
Yeah, we did very well under Speaker Griffin.
And again, I think it's an interesting thing. You had a lot of clocks.
I represent his hometown now.
Right.
Cameron.
That's right. That's right. So how many counties is Cameron in? I know it's
3.
at least, I thought it was 3. I knew it was at least 2.
DeKalb, Clinton, and Caldwell.
Yeah.
Just a little bit in Caldwell.
Yeah. Caldwell's a cool place.
Mm-hmm.
I like that presiding commissioner up there.
Yeah.
You wanna hear about Hamilton, Missouri? You call Jim; he'll tell you how long you got, buddy. And I love the courthouse in Caldwell County has this beautiful balcony, and you speak and they used to go read the election results off this wonderful balcony there in Caldwell County. People think the county seat is Hamilton, but it is not.
No,
down the street a little bit. I love the Great Northwest. It's been very good to me. Speaking of, you're having Great Northwest Day. Is that next week?
it is 3rd and 4th.
Is Buffy coming down?
I hope so.
Yeah, you ought to call her and be like, Kelton, what we should do. Number one, we got to get the Kelton cam back up. We're actually, as you see in our new studio, right behind the camera is our television studio that got done like yesterday sometime. We're going to claim it got done Sunday night sometime around 1, 2 in the morning. But really, everybody got done at noon yesterday. But it's going to be pretty cool when we get able to turn that camera around. Great Northwest Days, what day is that?
The 3rd and 4th, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Next week?
Yep.
So, Kelton, we should go set up over there and interview some people. That'd be cool.
That'd be great.
Let's do it.
We get our guy Lance at Maryville. I like that guy. Mm-hmm. When you find an academic that you can sit and talk to, and that because you got to have all those degrees, and you got to be highly intellectual. Right. Sometimes you get too smart for your own damn good. And some of these academics, I'm like, I'm sure this makes sense in a book somewhere, but like in reality, you sound like a clown. That guy seems like he can sit and have a good conversation with him. I was very impressed with him. Yeah. Really a solid guy. Frankly, you send your kid to school anymore, well, they're going to become some Israel-hating freak with goofy-looking hair and stuff. But, I like that guy. I'd send Gussie to school at Northwest. Yeah. I really liked him. He was good to go. Yeah. Why don't we do that, Kelton? Why don't we see if we can set up over there?
Let's do it.
We probably just need to call Missy and ask her, really, just get the person, go right to the top of the food chain.
I'm sure she'll have it planned out for us.
Yeah, well, why don't we, let's go over there and see. Is Hageman coming in?
Well, I'm sure he will.
He should. Right, yeah. Luckily, he got the snow out of the way this week, so next week it'll be fine. It is always the coldest day ever at Great Northwest Days.
Many times it is, yeah.
And I just illegally park up on that curb at the Capitol Plaza because it's always, you had it one time at the Doubletree, but it's almost too small. Yeah. Doubletree, almost like somebody's built a conference center here in town.
Yeah. That would help.
Speaking of constituents with their problems, how many of your constituents come down here to see you and petition their government? Good, well-meaning folks from Maysville, they come down. Let's say the girls' basketball team comes down and gets recognized on the floor, right? And all they get is parking tickets. It's just a damn shame. It is a 5-alarm crisis here in town. It really was interesting because the state got a little involved, and then Ron Fitzwater became mayor. He said, "We're fixing this. This is a terrible system, worst in the world. Just couldn't be worse." And he went and made it. He had the perfect parking system, and it was the most conservative, most perfectly well-executed thing ever. He had perfect parking, 100% perfect parking. And then somehow the government gets back involved and it's all messed up. At some point, do you just have to, on behalf of your constituents, let's just say within 1,142 feet of the Capitol, cap? Because I've been told it's not about money, right? It's not about the money. It is not about the money. So a $2 cap on parking tickets within a mile of the state capitol, since it's not about the money, obviously, it's not about the money. That should be a fair thing to do, right? Because it's not about the money.
Right.
Well, they have a special taxing district now too, which was my idea.
The increased fees 500%, but it's not about the money. Don't get to don't. I'll be personally offended if you get to thinking it's about the money. It is not about the money.
I've always said there's no way that parking meters can pay for themselves anyway. You have to have an attendant to go around, check the meters, and give tickets. And
what if you allowed this? People in Jeff City could get paintball guns and shoot at the people doing the meters. Wouldn't that be a fair way to get even with government? You don't have to shoot at them. But you can.
Sure that is against some, or I'm sure they could probably find a city ordinance that.
Why?
Harassing a government employee, probably.
Well, it's not harassing them. They sign up for this job.
Nuisance.
And if nobody will do the job, that kind of takes care of the problem also, right? But what do you think? At what point do you have to step in and stop good people from Cameron getting harassed?
You
took over the St. Louis Police Department.
We did take over the
and that didn't affect anybody in Cameron, except you. No, actually, you got more people coming to Cameron now, probably, because of what you did there. This But St. Louis crime doesn't affect me. There's some places in crime St. Louis that have crime. I don't go to those places. St. Louis crime doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
But it does affect me here. There are certain things you have to come to the Truman Building for. Let's say you're opening a bar and you need your liquor license that day. You got to drive down here, go to the Truman Building, and get the paperwork worked out, right?
Right.
You got a tax issue. There are things that, like you said, constituents' problems. I love that you said that. Fixing constituents' problems is your number one job. Is it not time to fix the problem of parking down here?
Well, I know we'll have bills on that this year.
Yeah.
We certainly will.
Because it's not about the money. Now,
Years.
I don't know if you might think.
I've heard that it's not about
a
the money.
500% increase in the fees, it might be about the money. Some folks might think that, and those folks would be very wrong. And I'm very offended if you think this is about the money.
And an out-of-state vendor.
Out-of-state foreigners running around here. Donald Trump's kicking them out, and Jeff City's bringing them in. I tell you, it just, since it's not about the money, I don't know if I mentioned that. Because I was told directly, then look it in the eye, it's not about the money. A $2 cap should be fine then. They'll do the same tickets, right? Because it's not about the money, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, another big bill. They had the Senate hearing last week. Pharmacy benefit managers, PBMs.
I actually think the PBM cause has been strengthened greatly by the parking debacle. I really do think. I've heard several senators say I was really for whatever Ron wanted to do.
But then none of the people that came to testify could park anywhere. So
it's a great strategy to run everyone out of town. Don't you think if you have a cattle bill, right? And this is a bill to help Missouri cattlemen. Shouldn't they be able to come up here and, even if they don't want to testify, listen to you present the bill on their behalf,
right?
Without being harassed.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
I mean, I do too. If only you knew somebody that could write some laws.
We'll have to work on that.
Yeah, we got to find somebody, Aaron. We got to find somebody that, because I mean, it can't go on. By the
end of this, we're gonna have a caucus. It's gonna be a whole caucus.
Would you join Senator Brown's caucus?
Yeah.
And standing up for your constituents?
I'll help Senator Brown on that, sure.
Yeah.
That's 2.
There we go.
How many do you need for a caucus? 3?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to start keeping track.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, we'll have Joe Steelman in here. He's running to replace Senator Brown. We'll ask him. I mean, the first question's got to be, what are you going to do about the parking problem?
Yep.
I mean, that's just what it is.
Are you going to pick up where Senator Brown left off?
A great legislator.
Yeah.
The Daniel Webster of parking really would be Justin Brown. So in the House, you got some bills coming up.
We do.
What's the biggest thing you see on the horizon?
Oh, we're going to have... We'll be looking at abortion again. We already got that on the ballot for next year.
Well, again, do you ever not look at abortion?
We always do.
When you point the truck southwest or southeast, I mean, you're going to deal with abortion, right?
Yeah.
Do you really? I mean, but honestly, you're going to put it on the ballot, right?
Right.
I thought you did. Look, Aaron would call it ballot candy, and it is, but the Democrats invented it.
It's always been there. We've always had ballot
like it'd be
candy.
Germans looking judgmental about beer. I mean, we invented it. We can't really. I mean, the Democrats invented it, blew it out of proportion, perfected it. The Supreme Court said, okay, whatever. You can put 18 things in one of these ballot measures, no problem. So the Republicans are copying it. I think you're clearly. Is it deceptive? Of course it is. Is it the way the game is played? Of course it is.
Yeah.
What do they want you to do? What, you tie your arms on things you believe about while they blow logic all to hell on theirs? No, you're both blowing logic all to hell on things you care about. And I admire many people in the Supreme Court. Yeah. The Supreme Court is the one that said you can take gerrymandering and ethics and smush them together, two things that ain't the same thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe I ain't go to law school. I have to ask Kelton, but I don't think those are the same things. But if we leaned on a fence post somewhere outside Hamilton, and Jim was telling us he was yelling about how great Hamilton was to us, we'd have to agree them ain't right. Now, how they got there, I don't know, but. Yeah. Finally, the Supreme Court has one person south of I-70 on it. Who'd have thought? You got a person up in your neck of the woods on there. Mm-hmm. You have to go ask Zell. Yep. You know, he's got an office in the county courthouse there in Rockport.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of neat. I was going to sneak in there, but I thought I might get in trouble.
They watch that courthouse.
It is a cool courthouse.
Yeah.
It's a cool part of the state.
Yeah.
You know, I heard the story. I got told the story by one of the commissioners. Zell decided he's going to drive his boat to work. Uh-huh. And the boat is not exactly designed for a travel like that. So he puts in there at Rockport in the river and drives down, and he got a guy with him. And of course, Zell runs out of gas, and so he has to run up and do a trade for some gas. Somebody he just found a place to pull off and go up.
What does he trade?
You know, I can't remember the part of the story. But he ends up running smooth out of gas, and they had to come bring him some. And this boat was not supposed to make this trip, right? But he decided it was going to make this trip. So he drove his boat to work one week. Took him an extra day or two, I think. But he ended up
maybe that was the point. Yeah.
Well,
Might have been.
At least he was coming downstream. That helped.
That
is true. I bet you that thing got back to Rockport on a trailer.
I bet it did.
I doubt it fought the river.
I think one of our big fights this year is going to be on the legalizing and regulating VLTs.
Yeah.
That's going to be a huge bill, as it was last year.
All right, here's my thing. You want to get rid of them, get rid of them. But right now, it's like the worst. It's like the Jeff City parking of issues. It's the worst possible situation you could ever have. I mean, I don't think it's fair what you're doing to prosecutors. You have a job. I asked the governor this. He's got a job. Right now, you want prosecutors to put away murderers and rapists, and then they got to deal with the highway patrol and all those ridiculous speeding tickets. And then the 2 seconds they might have left, you're making them decide whether something's legal or not. That's not their job. They don't want it to be their job, by the way. The prosecutors would like you guys to do your job. Ban the things or regulate them and tax them. Now, to me, I have a hard time seeing in every gas station I go into, I'm not a gambler, right? Of all the vices I have, which is a long, long list, gambling just never, I'm too cheap. I think my vice of being cheap outweighs gambling. So it doesn't make me any difference, right? Get rid of them, don't get rid of them.
Yeah.
I just think it's unfair to the prosecutors. Then you got folks, most Missourians don't want to break the law. That's not their intention. If something's illegal, they don't really want to do it. I mean, they got families and stuff, and it's not that big a deal. Then you got business owners. If you own 3 gas stations and they spread, if you own 3 gas stations in Cameron, they could be in 3 different counties. It would be up to the prosecutor, which it shouldn't be, whether each of those are legal.
Well,
you got to give some sanity at some point, right?
So we've got a law right now that the machines are illegal.
Now, tell the folks at the Bonne Terre Quick and Go, because I walked in there on Christmas Eve, and I was kind of sad because there was 8 people playing games. Every chair was filled. I get what you're saying, but I don't think that it's kind of like a college professor. Yes, theoretically that might be the case, but in reality, if you and I went and got in the truck and went and got us a soda, we could probably also do some gambling, right?
You could, I suppose, but here's the way I look at it. We have prosecutors who are prosecuting them and are successful in doing so.
We've had one.
Platte County has
prosecuted Eric Zond, I don't know if he lost a bunch of money in one of them or something. He hates them damn things.
Yeah. And know Eric very well. He grew up in Savannah.
He did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's from Savannah. Yeah.
I got a sign. I had the sweetest meat in Savannah once at a barbecue place downtown. Well, I didn't know Eric grew up there.
Yep.
He hates gambling.
Yep.
My God, that dude.
And we have prosecuted them in Andrew County. Matter of fact, we have a liquor store in Savannah that had the game with the quarters and the little deal that shoves back and forth. You put
Gussie plays them.
They told him, said, unplug that thing, get rid of it.
The quarter machine?
Yep, the quarter machine. And he said, I'm fine with it as long as everybody else has to do it. I don't know if there's any gray machines in Andrew County.
Well, don't you think that's fair? I'm fine with it.
Doesn't that create like a whack-a-mole situation, though? Because just because you unplug that machine in Andrew County doesn't mean it's not going to show up down in Cape Girardeau County or somewhere else.
That's why the prosecutors are the problem here on not prosecuting the law.
I don't think it's as clear as you think it is. And I've never read this law. I couldn't even tell you where it is. Yeah. But I know some prosecutors that are good folks.
Yeah.
They're serious people.
I know all of them are.
And they're
trying to do
them,
a good
number
job.
one, they say if there's a lot of things that's not ambiguity about, we're going to prosecute that and give us some direction. I could not sit here and have an intelligent conversation with you about the law and whether it's clear or not. But a lot of folks I respect, they don't think the law is clear enough to prosecute. Now, Eric Zahn is like the John the Baptist of hating gambling. I get that. He's kind of made a career out of hating.
He also has a big office with resources and could bring in an expert witness that costs.
But Andrew County doesn't. We have a half-time prosecutor, which we're going to full-time after this next election. We're finally going to have a full-time prosecutor and a full-time. It's already been voted on to do that.
Go in and elect him.
But we have to elect a prosecutor, and we'll be electing a new one. Our current prosecutor's getting a job in Buchanan County. And so our prosecutor, though, has prosecuted Steve Stevenson when he was prosecutor in Andrew County, did prosecute him. We had a gas station just north of the county line between Andrew and Buchanan County. had the grain machines. They took it out. My sheriff told me they took $120,000 out of one machine.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
we
a big
don't-
damn
I don't-
business.
Yeah, and so that's $120,000 of hard-earned money people stuck in that machine, hoping they might get a win.
Okay, I think
Yeah,
it's true.
we agree with that. We like the current system is.
If you were to put money in that machine, I got no sympathy for you.
Right.
Here's my thing. I think if you walked in and you pulled out your 20 and you put it in one of them machines, this $20 bill, I need to get a good look at it, because when I slide it in there, it's gone forever.
Yeah.
Now, I also don't think anybody's going to go put that money into a Roth 401k, right? Or IRA or whatever you call it. I'd call my guy. People go make bad choices with their money.
Right.
You can't stop them.
Slippery slope to start.
I kind of don't like telling people what to do. If you want to throw your money in that machine, I mean, I wouldn't, but hell, I'd tell Gussie not to.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time telling people what to do with their time. End of the day, though,
So
I think we'd all agree
here's
the
the way I look
current
at the-
situation sucks.
Yeah, it does. But I look at it this way too. When you go to the casino to gamble, you're going to a place where gambling is legal. You're going there for that purpose. Okay. When you step at a gas station that's got grain machines, that's just another catch to catch people when they're not thinking about doing something. They say, "Oh, I'll stick $1 in the machine, see what happens."
You're going to lose
At
the
the-
dollar. I can tell you what's
Then
going to
they
happen.
say, "Damn, I want that
$5.
dollar back," and put another dollar in, and pretty soon they're broke.
But to me, you're going to make bad choices. You're going to make bad choices. You know what I mean? I guess to me, I think I don't know anybody that doesn't agree. Right now, the situation is terrible.
Yeah.
I don't agree with you that it's as clear as you do.
Okay.
And that is not.
That's fair.
And I am not an expert, and anything.
I'm not either.
There are prosecutors I know that are good guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say get the law clear,
Yeah.
and then we'll do it. I really do think there's a certain amount of folks that just want some clarity, and I do think it's your job to offer it. Because the courts, how long has Eric Zahn been getting press releases about blowing machines up? And I don't think the Supreme Court's ever ruled on any of this, have they?
So
I don't think they were ruled against him anyway. I don't know if they were.
Yeah, I just don't think
but the
the
other
clarity
part,
is
the
king.
other part about litigation is that on the other side of this are very sophisticated defense lawyer teams that are paid a lot of money, right? They can drag out cases for a really long time, and they can make it really expensive. But that comes back on local county taxpayers.
Yeah.
And I think that with a regulatory framework, you would actually see some expediency, because you could get the highway patrol involved, you could get local resources to actually say, here's the bright line. I just don't, and the other aspect I would say is that we are not great at prohibition of anything.
I'm against
You know what I mean?
prohibition.
Like
It's racist against Germans.
if you go to prohibition, I think you will still find illegal operators, because I think that that's the nature of prohibition, is that
Wasn't it so terrible what they
it pushes
did
things
after
into a
World War
black
I?
market.
When it was just racist, anti-German prohibition that they did after World War I.
I don't know how I apologize.
Well,
I don't know how I
prohibition,
got
I'm
him on
agreeing
this.
with
This
you.
happens a lot.
I'm agreeing with you.
You're
You're
agreeing
totally
with me.
right.
Yeah.
They're one of the most
You guys
racist
flag
acts
out
ever.
Yeah, we've lost.
You know what they did to the good folks at Herman one time? The federal government came, broke all that. Stonehill Winery was never the same. You could make bathtub wine. It was legally, and they just persecuted those Germans. I tell you, man, find me a people persecuted like the Germans. I'd hate to see it. Well, anyhow, I guess I do think that. I guess I'm glad I agree with you, Representative. I don't think it's as clear as Eric Zahn thinks it is.
Okay.
I think to him it's very clear. I think to other people they disagree. I think when you have reasonable folks who disagree, that's where the ball's now passed to you. Figure this out. Ban them, okay? Then everybody knows they're banned, and I think prosecutors would prosecute it and take care of the problem. They're not banned, okay, fine. They're regulated. I do think you have a budget problem that's kind of hitting about the same time. I think you should, if you're not going to ban them, regulate them. Why not? I mean, hell, why don't they pay taxes on them? The guy, Jake Vogel, selling Cokes, he has to pay taxes. Why shouldn't those folks pay taxes on them, right? I think if you're not going to ban them, which whatever. I mean, as you can tell, I eat at a lot of gas stations. It's a real delicacy. I could take you in Southeast Missouri and take you to some of the greatest gas station places to
I
eat
just like
of all
Dexter.
time.
I like Dexter's. I just want to go to Dexter's barbecue.
There's a culinary arts thing down 25 from about Bloomfield all the way down to Kennett. The gas station cuisine down there, is outstanding.
We need a map.
It's really the best
gonna need
where
it.
at 25, where 1 Mile Road in Dexter hits. Used to be called the Royale. Now it's something else. Rhodes maybe. It has just a buffet, bigger than his desk, a buffet of everything. Shrimp. I mean, it is some of the best gas station eating you're going to find anywhere. I would like to see more room for gas station foods because I'm a lot more addicted to eating than I am gambling. But either way, it'll be interesting to me. So give me a prediction. When you go back home in May, it'll hopefully be warmer. Can't be colder, right?
Right.
It'll hopefully be warmer. And when you go back in May, will anything be done about this? Will it be the same dysfunctional system?
Same dysfunctional system.
Yeah, I kind of.
We'll probably pass the bill in the House like we did last year with a slim majority.
Where were you at on the bill?
I was against it.
Against it. Just because you don't want gambling?
No. I'm fine with the casino gambling that we have. I
Just
don't like,
just at a casino.
pardon me?
Just at a casino.
Yeah. I think that, to me, I'm with Eric Son. I think that those machines are illegal. Just because you can push a button, it'll tell you if you're going to win or not. It doesn't say you're going to win more than you're betting. I've heard of some of these quarter machines.
All the arguments are
pay a
just
nickel
bullshit.
off,
I'm with
stuff
you.
like
I
that.
totally agree.
You know, yeah. So
It's a gambling machine.
it's a gambling machine.
And then-
it's in a place
yeah.
that's not a casino. That's illegal.
Well, in my opinion, I mean, look, I've actually had.
But that's where that's exactly where the definitions get tricky and hard to litigate. Is because they are arguing that it is not a game of chance.
The legal argument is like a whole thing I'm not into.
I know, but that's what I'm. But that kind of goes back to the whole point of needing better definitions in the law, and I think why the
I think you owe it to the
prosecutors are
folks to
moving.
just be yes or no. Get them out. I ain't gonna change my day if you get them out.
Yeah.
And
Or legalize them, tax them, regulate them.
opt out, and cities can opt out, and then they have, and then they have a protection.
See, I like
and they
opt-outs.
have Shield to
I like
Highway
an
Patrol
opt-out.
and resources to actually,
Now,
enforce the law.
If a county opted out, I don't think there'd be any prosecutor in the state that wouldn't prosecute you for violence. Now they might come by and be more Andy Griffith and Barney Fife and give you a warning or two and say, hey, just so you know, this law went into effect August 28th. You can get these things out of here. They might.
Yeah.
Local guys have a little more common sense usually, but I think most folks would get them out, don't you?
Yeah,
I think
so.
if we were in Montauk County
Absolutely.
and this was illegal and the county commissioner, however they do, they opt out and say, we're not going to do this. I think the prosecutor prosecutes them and takes care of it. Now, local prosecutors aren't as big at making splashy headlines as maybe Eric is. I think they drive by and say, look, Charlie, you got to get this out of here. And then if he doesn't, they say, now, Charlie,
Now it's
tomorrow a deputy's coming by, and if this damn thing is plugged in, you're getting a citation.
Yeah.
Do I think they might handle it? Yes, but I think they get them out, don't you?
Yeah.
I think the problem would be solved.
I think
Well, it's
so.
not a citation
Yeah.
anymore; it'd be a felony, which we don't have that kind of. We don't have those kind
Well,
of criminal
Kevin
repercussions
Barber
in the law
was our
right
old
now.
prosecutor. He'd probably go to Westwood Billiards, which is a pool hall in Poplar Bluff that has a whole row of casino machines or whatever you call them. Whatever. My hillbilly tongue can't even. To me, it's a slot machine.
Yeah.
He'd probably go down and say, now, Jerry, you got to take these. Jerry is the owner of Westwood Billiards in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Shout out to everybody there. He'd say, now, Jerry leads, you got to move these out of here, right? That ain't going to work. And he'd probably argue. And he'd say, well, you got to have them out of here. And then somebody were to get back, he'd probably come back and say, now, Jerry, sheriff's coming by tomorrow. If that's plugged in, we got a problem. If it's not, we're good. And I think that's how they'd handle it. And I think it'd be fine. Let's talk about bear, the thing that matters up in our neck of the woods.
Okay.
The city folks are trying to get rid of Roundup. I don't think the city folks are really thinking about. Now I know the city folks take a lot of money from the lawyers at Roundup that are suing Roundup, and I respect. You got to raise money. I get that. But at the end of the day, you take Roundup out. Number one, I still got to buy glyphosate.
Yeah.
So I'm going to buy Chinese crap that probably does have a lot of terrible stuff in it. And if you get sick, go sue China.
Yeah.
Right? They don't care. The city folks ask a lot of y'all.
Yeah.
People forget, Aaron. I'm not good at figures. I'd take my boots off for sure, but I think, let me check here. In the state, this is the map of the gubernatorial
He
election,
loves
right?
this map.
All of us voted for Kehoe, right? St. Louis voted for Eigel. Now, you spend an inordinate amount of your time in the House on the Bill Eigel voters, like it's got to get boring sometimes. Most days you're just a St. Louis alderman. I mean, all y'all talk about or do anything, we're St. Louis. But the rest of the state here, the Kehoe voters actually need a law passed to allow us to use glyphosate without it causing a bit of,
Right, yeah.
I know the St. Louis folks don't think there's an arrogance to St. Louis. Just because we don't want to wear masks and shoot each other all day, they think they're better than us. I mean, Aaron, they do. At some point, the supermajority of your caucus, because the Republicans here in this town, trust me, the number one thing they love to tell you is we're the supermajority. They worked. Well, they didn't work
that
hard for it. The people that worked hard for it give them a great inheritance that they love to tell you about.
Yep.
The supermajority of the supermajority is actually rural people.
Yeah.
But you all, and I'm going to say you all act like you're in the minority with the suburban people. Will they help you help rural Missouri? Or is it just going to be you have to do everything we want? Everything St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis. Could you maybe just have a day? This might be a great thing to run on Speaker Pro Tem. One day on the House, like Tuesdays. We're not doing St. Louis on Tuesdays. Now, the calendar, people are going to be shocked because they're not going to know. I mean, let's say there's 50 bills on the calendar, 49 are about St. Louis. I mean, obviously. Could you just have a one day on the calendar that you're not obsessed with St. Louis?
We'll have to talk with Alex Riley about that.
I think you should think about it.
He's upset because the only bill he cares about for St. Louis would be a state takeover of the St. Louis Cardinals. So if you could get that bill introduced.
Well, the Cardinals are worse than the crime. We came in fourth. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah.
But do you think that you could go to your city people and say, listen, I know you get a lot of money from these folks, but in adult world here, outside 270, we have to actually do something about this and say, can you just not be St. Louis-y about stuff? Is there any way, what is the conversation when they come to you every day and say, you got to vote for all my crazy stuff, St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis. And you're like, okay, I'd like to help St. Louis. It's an important part of the state. Yeah. Do you ever get any give back from them, or is it all just city people taking?
Well, I really think that a lot of our St. Louis and St. Charles and Jeffco representatives.
Jeffco's getting worse about that, ain't they?
Yeah, kind of.
A little bit, yeah.
But I think they try to understand our issues.
Do they?
I think they do try to do that.
Which one do you think they try to understand?
I think when we present stuff from ag policy, they try to understand it. And obviously on the bear bill, on the accepting the labeling from the federal agencies as labeling from Missouri, a lot of them didn't accept that.
Yeah.
So
but they've got
they're
people who are
willing
tied
to
up
help
in the,
us.
They've got people who are tied up in the lawsuits.
Did you vote for this to take over the St. Louis Police Department?
Yeah.
There's probably people in Cameron, in Maysville, that don't really think that you should be worried about that. They think you should be worried about their police departments. But you did that for St. Louis.
I do that too, though.
But you did that for St. Louis.
Yeah.
Why do you think St. Louis people don't care about your folks in Cameron and Maysville?
I don't particularly think that they don't care about them.
You don't think so?
No.
Huh. This is going to be a crazy statement, and you all may need to turn your maybe down. I tend to think maybe just a little bit St. Louis people are a little self-centered, maybe is the right way to put it. Maybe just a little, maybe just ever so often.
You think that's the craziest thing you said on the show?
City people might be just a skosh self-centered.
Mm-hmm.
Like they expect you to vote for all the St. Louis stuff, all 50 pages in St. Louis, whatever. But you ask them to say, hey, now seriously, if y'all want supper in St. Louis, you're going to have to get serious for a minute.
Yeah.
And they're like, abortion, guns, pew, 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 crazy, crazy, crazy. You can't just say, hey, seriously now, this is important. Like, you ain't going to have, you need to have dinner, lunch, before you go out like Yosemite Sam and shooting off and stuff. You don't think they understand that? Or do they understand, they just not care?
I think they do their best to understand, just like I do my best to understand their situation.
But you, as a rural legislator, wearing that hat, you actually do help them. They don't return the favor near as much.
Yeah.
I'm going to pretend I'm from St. Louis.
But you know,
You're going to pretend you're from St. Louis?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Oh, man. Oh, boy.
I just rolled up on my skateboard. I'm crazy. I want you to vote for all this crazy stuff. We're going to tell everybody how to live their lives. Now, ask me to vote for something that makes sense for rural Missouri.
I'll vote for a fencing law that Doc Hayden has.
Oh no! Does that have anything to do with abortion? That's the
No,
only
not a
reason I
bit.
came here. So
Not
no,
a
I
bit.
can't help you. And I just think
And
that's
there-
how
there
the
is some of that.
conversations
There
go
is some of
over and
that.
over and over.
There's some of that, but I'll tell you, on our interim committee on property tax reform, we traveled the state.
Mm-hmm.
We hit Kansas City and St. Louis. We also hit Lebanon and Macon.
You had good crowds too.
I bet
Yeah,
they
good
care
crowds
about that
everywhere.
issue.
I was impressed by the
Good
number
I bet
of
they care about that issue.
well, regular folks showed up. Like
Yes.
you're used to hearing from lobbyists and things.
Yeah.
Right.
No offense to Aaron, but
Yeah.
I saw regular folks show up to that,
Yeah.
which has got to
So-
be impressive.
So I'm the only person on that committee from a third-class county from north of the river.
Okay.
I represent all of North Missouri on that committee.
Yep.
And when we got to Macon, I knew that a lot of the city people didn't understand rural Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
We had people saying, "What, you didn't have a board of equalization in your county? Did people not understand how to protest their taxes?" I said, "Sure we do." I said, "We know we're under assessed already. Why would we protest that? That's why we don't have BOEs. We're under assessed
Yeah.
already." And I got through to him as well that we have the same amenities in our third-class counties that the first-class counties do, just on a smaller level. We want our fire departments, our school districts, our ambulance boards, our Senate Bill 40 boards, our libraries. We don't mind paying some taxes to pay for them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people from the cities were going saying sales tax, sales tax, sales tax. Get rid of property taxes and go to sales tax. That's fine in the charter counties and first-class counties. They could probably do that. But our third-class counties can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
When you've got Worth County up there with less than 2,000 people,
Good folks.
Atchison, Holt, Knox, Lewis,
Allen
with
Andrews
less
Country.
than 5,000
Yeah.
people in the county, they
Grant
don't
Grant
have
City
enough.
ain't even got a
They don't have
McDonald's.
the tax
Yeah.
base.
Worth
They
County
don't
ain't got a
have
They
a-
don't
They
have
got
a
a
tax base, and that would be super
They
regressive.
got Dollar General now, though,
Right.
don't they?
Well,
Didn't Grant City get a Dollar General?
they might have. I've
We'll
not
have
been to
text
Grand City
Alan
for a
Andrews
little
and
bit.
ask him. That's a good.
We'll
I
have to
like it.
ask
Good
Alan
place.
about that.
It's a
Yeah.
good place.
But our third and fourth class counties have to rely on property tax
Mm-hmm.
to provide the fire department, the ambulance board. When our house catches on fire, we want the fire department to show up. When we need the ambulance, we want it to come. And so that's how we are in North Missouri. We understand what our taxes are paying for, and we want to do that. And so I think that I was hopefully able to get that across to the committee.
Mm-hmm.
That we're fine, leave us alone.
Did
You
y'all
want
feel
to
a
do
little
something
weird?
different?
Y'all are talking
That's
about
fine.
property tax, right? And frankly, I hear a lot of people talk about property tax. The governor's like income tax, where you're like, hey, governor, we're doing a whole thing here, other way. How does that all going to work together? Because
the-
if
I
you're
don't
going to
know
get
yet.
rid of yeah.
And the formula rewrite.
I don't know yet. Yeah.
Oh, you got to come back. We'll talk formula rewrite.
Yeah.
We'll get when we talk formula rewrite. This map becomes even more important
It does.
because do you really? I mean,
Yeah.
I asked the governor. I held this map up
Yeah.
and showed him,
Yep.
and I'm like, now should the Kehoe voters be worried you're about to fleece them to give money to the Eagle voters? Because that's kind of what looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm with you. Right now, we get a good deal on the formula. So why would a rural legislator support a change to a good deal? They're going to have to make a very good case.
Yeah. And that task
Do you
force.
trust them if they say, "Oh, vote for this," but it won't affect you? It'll be 10 years before it gets affected.
I look closely at those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they always tell us that. And then the first people they stick it to is us.
Yeah. But we've got that task force for the school foundation
Yeah.
formula. Their reports due 1st of December.
Have you ever really thought a task force is worth much? And I love Don Thalhuber, but
That one seems to be. Carla's really engaged.
I think they'll
that
do-
one
I
seems to
think
be
they'll do
doing
fine.
okay.
so this will be the first Blue Ribbon Commission in the history of Blue Ribbon Commissions that actually was worth anything.
Well,
Should
if
we
it
make-
is, it is.
We like
If it, yeah, you know.
we like to make
There's
bets
always
around
the
here.
first, right?
All right.
Yeah, there's got to be.
We
a
got to
first.
circle back.
Yeah.
We've asked for more time than
Yeah.
you give us more time than we asked for. I so appreciate it.
Northwest
So,
Days next week. So
Northwest
we'll
Days.
Go do that again.
You want to go over there and set
Yeah,
up?
we're gonna go do what we do at the
be
fair.
cool.
We should go do what we do at the state fair. Get the whole setup.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Get some
Kelton,
clips. I've just
can we
assigned
do
Kelton
that?
work.
is that something we can do?
This is why we need the Kelton cam because I want to see
We
his
can
face
do
when I
that.
assign him work.
Yeah, we got to get the Kelton cam. Like, that's really the last thing in the studio we have to install, right? Kelton is the.
Yeah.
We're going to hang some lights, and then we're going to do the Kelton cam.
I'll get it right up.
Again, assigning
folks,
Kelton more work.
You can't see this because the Kelton cam is not on. He said that through some gritted teeth.
Yeah, not happy.
Aaron over here coming up with work for him.
Yep.
So Aaron
Not
and
happy
Kelton,
for me.
like, they're each other's favorite here at the office. I think I see a fissure. It's a chance for maybe Jake and I to take over.
This is
Jake, if you're watching, you work Aaron. I'm going to work Kelton. And we'll try to divide the two of them before we come in tomorrow.
It's like a Pam Michael Scott relationship.
Pan dilemma.
Pam
Stepbrother.
on The Office.
So running for Speaker Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
Love it. The Great Northwest next weekend.
Yep.
Aaron, your 3 was Amy Blunt.
and then a throwback to Senator Holtzman and Senator Eigel as roommates.
I like that.
Yeah.
And Murphy. I would take Murphy from you. I'm going to throw Tilly in. I would also take Amy. I think Amy would be fun to watch, like just a GoPro and whatever she does. I also think her cutaways would be hilariously funny
Yes.
about everyone.
Yeah. I know for a fact that they are.
It sort of feels like when you're talking to her, it's almost a cutaway from her observing a situation anyway. Well, take care in the house today. Thank you so much for your time. I sure appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're coming
You
back
betcha.
tomorrow
Thank you,
morning,
sir.
right, Aaron?
Sorry,
We're going to
my
bring
bad.
in Joe
They're so
Steelman,
cold.
Rolla's own, running for state senate. You have an interesting conversation with Joe. And then we'll be back Sunday. We're going to Truman State University.
All right.
We got to get the fight song, right, Kelton?
I'm on it.
Is it the Bulldogs? Is Truman State the Bulldogs?
They are.
That's what I thought. We'll be up Sunday in Truman State, Missouri. You think it's cold here? We're going to go up to Dean's latitudes up there.
Yep.
Changing latitudes and attitudes.
Changing
Ooh,
attitudes,
my
that's right.
goodness. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow on the TWMP Daily.